The title sounds simple. Everything you need to know about your height. Like great, you're tall short, somewhere in between, end of story, right? Not even close. Your height is basically the result of genetics, playing dice, your childhood making silent decisions behind your back, and your body, following instructions written before you were born, and then improvising anyway. It affects how people treat you, how you see yourself, and even how confident you feel ordering food. -1s0 No. It's not just how tall you are. It's a weird mix of biology, psychology, and social bias wrapped into one number. You stop measuring after age 16. Let's get right into it. Number 10. Genetic roulette. Genetic roulette. Before you even existed, your height was already being negotiated, like a business deal between your parents' DNA. Imagine two genetic blueprints sitting at a table. One says we are going tall. The other says let's not get carried away. What you end up with is the compromise, plus a little chaos thrown in for dramatic effect. Height is influenced by hundreds of genes, not just one magical tall gene. That means predicting. It isn't as simple as averaging your parents' heights and calling it a day. Sometimes tall parents have shorter kids, and sometimes a random family member from 3 generations ago shows up like surprise. I'm 6 feet 3 inches. But here's the catch: genetics set the range, not the final number. Think of it like your body being given a budget. You could end up at the high end, the low end, or somewhere in between, depending on what happens next. Which means your height wasn't exactly chosen, it was more like loosely suggested. Basically, you're the result of a genetic group project, and not everyone pulled equal weight. Number 9. Sleep equals growth mode. Somewhere out there, kid is refusing to go to bed, unknowingly rejecting their own height upgrade. Because here's the weird part: you don't grow during the day. You grow while you sleep. When you're in deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, the chemical responsible for making you taller, repairing tissue, and generally keeping things running. No sleep, less growth hormone, less growth hormone. Congratulations, you just nerfed your own height potential. And it's not just about sleeping, it's about good sleep, the kind where your brain fully powers down, instead of scrolling imaginary TikToks in your dreams. So all those nights of staying up late, staring at a screen thinking, this won't matter. Yeah, your body noticed that. It's like having a construction crew scheduled to build your height overnight, but you keep canceling the job. Basically, your growth didn't just depend on your genes. It depended on whether you respected bedtime or treated it like a suggestion. Number 8. Nutrition's quiet influence. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper, but you're missing half the materials. That's what poor nutrition does to your height. Your body needs protein, calcium, vitamins, and a bunch of other nutrients to actually build bone and tissue. Without them, your genetic height budget doesn't get fully spent. This is why height differences can vary so much between populations and time periods. Better nutrition over generations has literally made humans taller. Your great-grandparents might look at you like you're from a different species. But here's the subtle part. It's not about one meal or one bad habit. It's long-term patterns, consistency, what your body had access to while it was still in growth mode. So if genetics wrote the blueprint, nutrition supplied the bricks. Basically, your height wasn't just inherited, it was constructed one meal at a time, whether you noticed or not. Number 7. The posture illusion. Stand up straight. No, seriously, right now you just got taller. Not genetically, not permanently, but visibly. Absolutely, posture can change how tall you appear by a surprising amount. Slouching compresses your spine, rounds your shoulders, and basically tells the world, let's subtract a few centimeters for no reason. Meanwhile, good posture does the opposite. Spine aligned, shoulders back. You instantly look taller, more confident, and like you didn't just lose a fight with gravity. And here's where psychology sneaks in. People respond differently to posture. Taller-looking posture often gets associated with confidence, authority, and competence, even if nothing else changed. S0. To people of the same height can walk into a room and be perceived completely differently based on how they carry themselves, which means part of your height isn't physical, it's behavioral. Basically, you might not be able to grow taller anymore, but you can absolutely stop shrinking yourself for free. Number 6. The confidence bias put to people side by side. Same skills, same intelligence, same everything. One is taller, now watch what happens. Without realizing it, people tend to assume the taller person is more confident, more capable, maybe even more leader-like. No resume required, just extra centimeters. This is called height bias. And your brain is fully participating, whether you like it or not. Somewhere deep in human evolution, taller meant stronger, more dominant, harder to ignore. And your modern brain is like, yeah, let's keep that setting. So taller people often get subtle advantages, more attention, more perceived authority, sometimes even higher salaries, not because they're automatically better, but because perception quietly tilts the game. But here's the twist: once you know this bias exists, you can stop falling for it. Instead of automatically associating height with confidence, you start paying attention to actual ability. You separate presence from performance, and if you're not tall, even better, you can build confidence deliberately, instead of relying on accidental genetics. Basically, height might open the door, but confidence and actual skill is what keeps you from getting politely escorted back out. Number 5. The height memory glitch. Ask someone how tall they are. There's a solid chance the answer is slightly fictional. People round up constantly. Someone who's 5'9" suddenly becomes 5 feet 10 inches, then with enough confidence, 5 feet 11 inches. Give it a few years, and they're basically negotiating with reality. Why does this happen? Because height isn't just a number, it's tied to identity. It affects how people feel about themselves. So, the brain does what it always does. When reality is inconvenient, it edits. And here's the funny part: most people don't question it. If someone says their height confidently, others just accept it, like it came from a certified measuring authority. This creates a weird social illusion, where everyone is just slightly taller than they actually are, like a collective agreement to stretch reality by an inch or two. Once you notice this, you can't unsee it. Every time someone says their height, a tiny part of your brain goes home. Is it though? Basically, height isn't just measured in centimeters. It's measured in confidence, optimism, and a little bit of creative storytelling. Number 4. The social filter. Walk into a crowded place and notice who stands out first. Chances are, your brain scans for height almost instantly. Taller people are easier to spot, easier to track, and harder to ignore. It's like your brain has a built-in zoom feature that locks onto vertical advantage. This affects everything from who gets noticed in a group to who gets interrupted less in conversations. Taller individuals often get a few extra seconds of attention, not because they earned it, but because your brain flagged them as important before they even spoke. But the tension doesn't equal accuracy. Your brain is just being efficient, spotting what's easiest to see, not what's most valuable. So here's the smarter move: slow that filter down. Don't let visibility decide importance. Pay attention to what people say, not just how easily you notice them, because some of the most insightful people in the room aren't the ones your brain highlighted first. They're just the ones it almost skipped. Basically, your attention is biased toward height, and your judgment quietly follows it, like a loyal intern. Number 3. The growth deadline. At some point, your body just stops. No dramatic announcement, no final level up screen. Just one day your growth plates close, and your height is officially locked in, like a permanent setting. These growth plates are areas of cartilage in your bones that allow them to lengthen during childhood and adolescence. Once they close, that's it. No more vertical expansion. Your body basically goes, alright, we are done here. And this is where a lot of myths fall apart. Stretching exercises, hanging from bars, secret techniques. None of these will make you taller after this point. They might improve posture, sure, but they're not unlocking hidden height. Your growth window had a deadline, and it didn't send reminders. But here's the upside: once it's set, it's set. No more worrying about what could have been. Your body has made its decision. Basically, your height isn't something you can endlessly tweak. It's more like a finalized design, with no update patches coming. Number 2. The comparison trap. Scroll through social media for 5 minutes, and suddenly everyone is taller, better looking, and standing at perfect angles. like they were assembled by a design team. Welcome to the comparison trap, where your brain takes selective, filtered reality and treats it like the standard. Height becomes one of the easiest things to fixate on, because it's visible, measurable, and constantly reinforced. You stand next to someone taller and your brain goes, "Ah yes, we are now inferior." Excellent conclusion. But here's what your brain conveniently ignores: context. Camera angles, shoes, posture, and pure selection bias all mess with perception. People don't post the version of themselves that looks average, they post the version that looks like they just unlocked a bonus feature. And your brain compares that highlight reel to your unfiltered real-time self. Smart thinking means catching that comparison mid-process and calling it out. This isn't a fair comparison. This is edited reality vs normal existence. Because once you stop comparing raw data to curated illusions, a lot of that unnecessary pressure just disappears. Basically, your brain is comparing you to a version of reality that doesn't even exist outside a camera frame. Number 1. The meaning illusion. Here is the biggest twist of all. Height only matters as much as people decide it matters. Biologically, it's just bone length, that's it. No built-in meaning. No universal rule that says taller equals better or shorter equals worse. All the importance attached to height, that's social, cultural, psychological. It's something humans collectively agreed on, without ever signing a contract. Different places, different times. Height has meant different things. Sometimes it's an advantage. Sometimes it's irrelevant. Sometimes it's just there, which means the power of height isn't actually in your body.